Welcome to 705 Sports. Yay, the first time we've got to say it.
We finally have a name.
Boom. Today we're going to talk a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes or behind the benches, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, good old Tortorella, he's got losing his mind again.
He's back. He's back at it again. He benched Patrik Laine for the entire third period. Mind you, they did win.
Yeah.
But Tortorella said it wasn't because of his missed assignments. It wasn't because of missed back checks. It was multiple things, but that's staying in the locker room.
Ooh.
Interesting thing enough, though, one of the players from the Columbus Blue Jackets, Cam Atkinson, actually defended Torts, saying that he feels that the players aren't giving 100%, they should be punished.
There you go. Doesn't matter what type of player you are and how many zeros follow your first number.
Oh, I'm iffy on this one because I understand what Torts is trying to do.
Yeah.
He's trying to make sure that the players are like actually playing to their 100% ability. But at the same time, let's say they lose that game and you have your best goal scorer sitting on the bench twiddling his thumbs.
Well, I guess he was willing to make the point.
I don't know if it's worth making a point like that in a 56-game season.
Yeah, well, would you argue with that guy? I wouldn't.
I think this is why though almost every star wants out.
He is an angry looking guy, just like Brian Burke we were talking about. Very angry. Yeah, it was a weird decision, but, you know.
Not one I would have made personally. I maybe would have sat him a couple shifts.
The entire period.
Not an entire period in a one-goal game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, let's talk about another game where Austin Matthews was once again
he's just
another point.
Lighting it up.
He is so amazing. What's your take on last night?
He got the game-winning goal for a 3-1 victory for the Leafs. As a Leaf fan, we were lucky we won this one.
Yeah.
First two periods, we were really outplayed. We only had 7 shots in the first 2 periods.
And lately, they've been firing the shots on net in the first couple periods.
The team turned it around, ended up scoring 2 goals, in the third, including the Matthews game winner, and then Kerfoot on a nice give and go to win the game 3-2. I don't know what's up with Vancouver. They looked so good. The first 40 minutes. Like, I mean, they were fort checking, they were hitting. Toronto's defense couldn't get a good breakout going. But it was almost like because they couldn't pull ahead, they just kind of gave up.
Okay. So
it was weird to see.
I think maybe they should go back to their black and gold jerseys. Maybe these new ones are working for them, eh?
I don't know what they need to do, but Travis Green's got to pull that team together.
Yeah.
Or if he doesn't, I'm not saying the whole thing's his fault. They did trade away a lot of star players and a lot of star power, including Tyler Toffoli, who is now in the tops with Matthews for most goals in the NHL this season. But Green needs to get this team together. The way they played that last period, it looked like the other games again. They looked lost. They weren't fort checking, and the Leafs were able to just dominate.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying if you're a Leaf fan, you should be happy with that win. I was angry with the Leafs last night. For the first 40 minutes, they looked like the Leafs from last season.
And as a Leaf fan, it's always been very frustrating watching the Leafs too. But lately, it's been a little bit better. But yeah, it is frustrating.
But I mean, the third period, they looked great. But for Vancouver, like, what are you doing?
I don't know. And to say that the Leafs look good in the third period is not something as a Leaf fan we've ever really had to say in years before. It's always the third period is where they collapse.
It's usually where they collapse. And Anderson did really hold them in this game, making 31 saves. Mind you, the Leafs did do a good job of keeping shots to the outside. But I don't know what to say if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan, except maybe Green needs to...
Except for maybe be a Leaf fan now? What about the Oilers and that other team? You know that other team.
Listen, you know what? I'm going to be an unbiased sports analyst here.
I don't like it.
Oilers versus the Sens was a much closer game than I think anyone was expecting. The Oilers did win 3-1. One of them was an empty netter. McDavid and Draisaitl again combining for 3 points for the win.
That's good.
But what I like to see from Edmonton, they showed effort. They had 2 fights. They were hitting. They were flying all over the place. Dave Tippett said he was really angry that his players did feel engaged, including Zach Kassian. And Zach Kassian, he was one of the fights in that game. But for the Sens, I don't think you should be too upset with them that game. Mike Smith played really well.
He's a good player.
It was for his first game back in the season for Edmonton, and Ottawa got a lot of good chances on him. I think Ottawa fans, you still need to just trust in the process. They have a lot of good young players. Matt Murray played a strong game, which is one thing that I like to see from Matt Murray because he's been kind of shaky, but it's been good his last 4 starts.
Okay.
So if you're a Senators fan, don't think about playoffs. Just think about this is a rebuilding season, and the team is looking better. And this is coming from a Leaf fan.
Oof. And I thought you were my friend too, but apparently not. Anyway, just kidding. What's going on with the CFL and our Edmonton Eskimos are no longer?
I am so excited to talk about CFL
yes, I know
again.
you are. I know you are. And I know you're excited to talk about these names that they've got on their list of possibilities.
So currently the Edmonton football team, which thankfully they're not going to pull a Washington football team move and just not rename the team at all. They're looking at 7 new names which they want the fans' input on.
Okay.
So we got the Elks, the Evergreens, Evergold, Eclipse, Elkhounds, Eagles, and
that's hilarious.
The Elements.
Yeah, that is hilarious. And it's kind of like the Mighty Ducks. Remember when that first came out? You're like, are you kidding me? You're naming your team the Mighty Ducks after
when I picture the Elements, I'm picturing like a 10th grade science teacher wearing like a jersey and being like, we're going to learn about elements.
Which nobody wanted to learn about. And everyone's like, oh, not elements. I would not go with elements.
I think...
What would you choose? Evergreens? No. Eclipse is terrible. Eagles.
I would choose, I was thinking the Elks.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I've already seen some concept jerseys.
Oh, okay.
And the concept jerseys look really good.
The logo matters. Branding always matters. Okay, let's switch this conversation around to the court. Let's go to Toronto, to We the North.
Love to see this from the Raptors pulling a big 128-113 win over the Grizzlies.
Right? That was awesome.
Now, something I don't like to see from the Raptors. Kyle Lowry had to leave in the first quarter with back spasms. Let's hope he's okay. Fingers crossed, because, I mean, he is the leader of this ship for this team.
Yeah, for sure.
But the rest of the players really stepped up to the plate, or I guess to the court, or to the key.
To the court. To the key, yes.
This ain't baseball. Spicy P with 32 points.
Yeah.
Fred Van Vliet, 32 points.
He's great.
Norman Powell, 29 points. Then Chris Boucher with a double-double. I like to see that from the Raptors. When they saw their captain was down, the rest of the team really did step up. And they might have to, because Lowry has been in a lot of trade rumors lately.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about that for a second. What did you just send me before here? A little for sale sign on Lowry's house?
Apparently, Kyle Lowry's house is for sale at a nice cold $5.3 million.
Was that all chump change?
Yeah, I mean... I'll buy 2 of them.
Me too. Well, I guess I should get back to the news. Thank you for joining us on 705 Sports. Do you have anything else to add, Jacob, with your expertise, and let everybody know what's going on tonight, maybe?
Just one more thing I wanted to add as someone from a sports fan. I'm sure anyone who's a sports fan knows Sports Center with Jay and Dan.
Yes.
Dan O'Toole was unfortunately laid off by Bell Media last week.
It's crushing.
And it's very upsetting coming from someone who has grown up watching them my entire career, my entire life, not career, but even they were a reason why I wanted to get into this career. So right before we end, I just want to go to a small part of the clip where Jay Onroy talks about his friendship and everything that him and his entire crew have done together to really change sports broadcasting into more than just sports broadcasting.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad we're sharing that. And right after that clip, we'll get back to your news.
We were talking about how when young people see us now, they tell us they grew up with us, which makes us feel old, but also so grateful, because when we started on this network together almost 2 decades ago, we had one priority: to be ourselves on television. And it only worked because you guys watched us. Because let's face it, our show was pretty weird. But you made us a part of your routine with your families all across this country, in the morning and at night. And Dan and I will always appreciate that. So on behalf of Dan and Tim and myself and everybody on this amazing crew, thank you.